The Roman soldiers, upon receiving Jesus, began mocking him. They placed a purple robe on him, put a crown of thorns on his head, and mocked his kingship by bowing before him. They spat on him, struck him, and beat him with a reed. After being scourged and mocked by Roman soldiers, Jesus was forced to carry his cross to the place of execution. Golgotha, meaning the place of the skull. Exhausted from the brutal flogging, he stumbled under its weight. The Romans compelled a man named Simon of Cyrene to help carry the cross. Golgotha was a hill just outside Jerusalem, used by the Romans for public executions. It was a place of shame and horror. Jesus was crucified alongside two criminals, fulfilling the prophecy that he would be numbered with the transgressors, Isaiah 53:12. Jesus was stripped of his garments, which the soldiers divided by casting lots. He was then nailed to the cross, spikes driven through his wrists and feet, causing excruciating pain. The cross was raised upright and dropped into a hole, jerking his body violently. Above his head was placed a sign written in Hebrew, Latin, and Greek, Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews, Enri. A title Pilate refused to change. Despite protests from the Jewish leaders, Jesus spoke 7 times on cross, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Luke 23:34. Jesus says this early in his crucifixion, addressing those who had condemned and crucified him: Roman soldiers, religious leaders, and the crowd. For 6 hours, Jesus hung on the cross. He struggled to breathe, pushing up on his pierced feet for each breath. He suffered not only physically but spiritually, bearing the weight of the world's sins. One of the criminals who hung there hurled insults at Jesus, saying, "Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself and us." Luke 23:39. This criminal saw Jesus as just another man suffering a punishment. He mocked Jesus, demanding that if he truly was the Messiah, he should save himself and the criminals as well. But the other criminal rebuked him, saying, "Don't you fear God, since you are under the same sentence? We are punished justly, for we are getting what our deeds deserve. But this man has done nothing wrong." Luke 23:40-41. This criminal acknowledges Jesus' innocence and contrasts their own guilt with Jesus' purity. He recognizes that their punishment is just, but Jesus has committed no crime and does not deserve the suffering. The repentant criminal then turns to Jesus and says, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." Luke 23:42. This plea is a statement of faith. The criminal recognizes Jesus as the Messiah, even in his apparent defeat. He asks for mercy and a place in Jesus' future kingdom. Jesus replies to the repentant criminal with words of comfort and assurance. "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." Luke 23:43. When seeing his mother Mary and the disciple John at the foot of the cross, Jesus entrusts them to each other. "Woman, behold your son, behold your mother." John 19:26-27. Near the end of his crucifixion, Jesus acknowledges his physical suffering by saying, "I thirst." John 19:28. One dips the sponge into the sour wine and lifts it up to Jesus' mouth using a branch. Jesus cries this aloud in Aramaic, "Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani." That means, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Matthew 27:46, Mark 15:34. Then he said, "It is finished." John 19:30, signifying the completion of his mission of redemption for humanity. "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." Luke 23:46. His final words before he gave up his spirit. Jesus cried out with a loud voice and gave up his spirit. He did not have his life taken. He surrendered it. A Roman centurion, seeing how he died, said, "Truly this was the Son of God." At noon, darkness fell over the land for 3 hours. As Jesus died, the earth quaked, rocks split, and the veil of the temple was torn in two, symbolizing the new access to God through Jesus' sacrifice. Graves opened, and many believed he was truly the Son of God. To ensure he was dead, a soldier pierced his side with a spear, and blood and water flowed out. He was taken down by Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus, wrapped in linen, and laid in a new tomb, sealed with a large stone.